Yes, thank you for the invitation, and thank you for the previous host, guest. What he said is 110% my same testimonial. It's system. That's the system. It's how it works. So some places at least. And my background, I'm a pilot, and in aviation we have a lot of psychology. And I would say that this system is constructed on purpose of pure evilness. It's a mismanaged culture, and really what we call a controlled flight into terrain. They know about it, but they don't want to correct it. They don't want to admit it. And if you don't want to admit it, then this movie is, I will give you an example. If you don't want to admit it, you can't learn. Yesterday, I want to thank the producer of the movie. She was on earlier, and I agree with Marius that Estonian actors, it really hit me hard, because it's exactly, I don't even know if they know it, but it's exactly how it works. This terrorism going on in the homes of people, and the movie was not overplayed at all. As you heard, this people crying, frustration, the darkness, everything. You're put into a dark hole. And the movie was actually of such a character that I'm sure this must be going on to Hollywood. My own story is even worse than Sagarita. It's the same story, it's the same fight, and we have thousands of people doing this fight. But we don't get the commitment in Norway. You're so it's so important for us to have the support from abroad. So I would also ask any media, any onboard flight magazine, any TV stations, any radio stations, or whatever, please note my name, and I will provide you with witnesses, stories, and I also have solutions. It's so easy to fix this problem, because instead of removing, like I say, the best interest of the child is to take it out of the home, and they use attachment theory. My sister, she was a leader in the kindergarten, and she says, like, well, we spend so much time in trying to be in the kindergarten the first time with the children. You have to stay there half the day, etc., etc. So in one hand, the state is demanding you to spend time with the state in the kids, but when they do an emergency takeover, they just remove them from their toys, from their beds, from the room, from everything that is secure, from their neighbors, from the sports activities, church activities, everything, and place to total stranger people. How on earth is it possible to not see that this is damaging the children? And that's why they do it. The industry now is doing emergency takeover to jump over all the rights that you have as a citizen. And then they stresses the children, they damage them on purpose, because then the foster parents show up in court and say, the kids didn't sleep the first week, but after 1 week without the parents, now they start to relax. Okay, so less time with the parents is good for them, and then they continue. And it's true that they make a lot of money. And I also have a tape recording of corruption. I used to be a lay judge, and the phone was left back in the room. It was my own case. And you clearly hear the lawyers talking about how to kind of win the case, how to get the parents out of the case, etc. And their interest is that it will create more cases, more appeals, and more conflicts. So Barnevernet is actually going in and creating conflicts. And as we saw in this movie, Sagarita and the husband went apart, and that's a typical outcome. I'm going to end up now and saying that I was actually in the movie yesterday, and there was a panel, and I was allowed to say some words in end. And one of the people there posted today on her wall. She's a caseworker in Barnevernet. She said the movie was good, etc., etc., etc. And then she does this typical thing. But I have to say that the movie is showing unreal ways of how a case is worked on, etc., etc. And immediately there, because she's a good person, she wants to change the system from inside. But then I would say, is the movie the problem? Or are you actually saying that the movie is disclosing real problems in Barnevernet that I am taking a distance from? And that's a totally different story. It's a totally different resume. And then you can imagine how it looks in a child protective case when they can't even get a review of a movie correct. Because it's not the movie that is the problem. The problem is, like Ove said before, I want you to really listen to what he said. It's 100% true. And the only way to win this is to wake up Norway and send all international media, and we will help you. And when you make the next movie, we will give you even better examples of details in the movie. And I hope this movie really gets to Hollywood. And I want to say thank you to the Indian community and also for hosting this meeting. And feel free to ask any questions.